Hey everybody, thanks for being here today on the channel. I figured it was a good time to have a conversation about trials. We're 2 weeks of trials in now with the new season, and the loot is, it's significantly better, right? Okay, we only got 3 new weapons, but we got like a phenomenal hand cannon. We got a pinnacle weapon, basically pulse rifle in the form of the messenger. We got our new like bolt caster style heavy sword, which is really cool. These behind an AOE effect, and all of those things have now been in the loot pool just in 2 weeks. You've also got the ghost shell. You got some fresh armor sets that look fantastic. By the way, they really do look fantastic. So the loot is there, but a lot of people are this weekend making some suggestions that we change things about how that loot is obtained. They say, especially with the hand cannon being such a great hand cannon and being locked behind the flawless chest is really off-putting for casual players. And I'm really sympathetic to that, truly. And I don't want to come across like I'm not sympathetic towards that, because I honestly very much am. But I don't think that making the trials loot more easily obtainable directly by making it drop in other ways is really the solution. I think, quite honestly, Trials needs a severe overhaul in terms of the core experience and how that core experience is played out by the player. Right now, Trials is just unapproachable, and I know that people want their loot, but I don't think that just handing it to them. I mean, I thought it was okay to do that with the messenger, but I would not want them to do it with everything. With the messenger last week, you didn't have to win a single game to get guaranteed messengers. You could get 3 guaranteed messenger drops without winning a single game, without getting a single kill. You could jump off the map every round for 3 games straight. You know what I'm saying? And get your messenger. I don't think that's the solution, because what you're going to encounter then is once everyone has gotten their loot, they're gone, right? Trials is a ghost town again. At that point, you may as well, people aren't actively playing the game mode at that point, you may as well just delete Trials and just give people those new guns on like the season pass or something. I don't know, but it's pointless to have an activity that people aren't going to actively play. So I don't think that giving players the good loot is really the solution. I think we got to target the core experience of Trials if we're going to repopulate the playlist. And really, it comes down to a few things I'm going to list out here that I think would be helpful. But Trials has to have loot and a fun experience. Right now, it's only got one thing. It's got the loot. It doesn't have the fun experience. I know people assume like high tier players just love to go in there and sweat. Guess what? We don't. It's not fun. It really isn't. Trials isn't fun. I'm just there for the loot. A lot of us are, and that's the reality. But I would love to play more Trials if it was more fun. So that's what we got to do. We got to target the things that are making Trials so unfun right now. And so here's a list of things that I think that would be helpful. Casual players are having a hard time because it's mega sweaty. How do we make it not that way for them? I don't like the idea that people go in there and they don't stand a chance. That's not good, right? We got to fix that. I know that it's supposed to be like some end game PvP activity, but let's be real. Destiny is not some hyper competitive, elite shooter. It's not. And I know a lot of people think that it should be or want it to be, but I don't. That's not what it is. It's never been that. And I don't think it ever should be that. This is a casual, fun space shooter, sci-fi space shooter. That's what it is. And when people take it too seriously, I think that's when Destiny gets a lot worse. So here's what I think we need to do. 1, make recoveries a bannable offense for both the account, doing the recovery and the person who paid for it. Both people should be a bannable offense. So that way, people aren't going to want to take the risk of signing up for recovery service because their account could get banned. And there's ways you can detect. I mean, there's ways to know if you're not the person playing on your account. There's some telltale signs, but make that a bannable offense for both parties. Okay, and it's not going to take it all away, but it'll probably help. So make recoveries a bannable offense. Continue this crusade against cheaters. I know that's a big issue on PC, not so much on console, but they need to continue that crusade against cheaters. They've filed lawsuits against some companies who are selling these cheats, but they really need to just double down. I know they just doubled the size of their studio, so don't tell me they don't have the capital and the resources to prioritize certain things. I mean, they're not like dying over there like, oh, we just don't have enough people. guys. They got the capital, they got the manpower. They need to say it's a priority and continue that crusade against cheaters. Same thing with DDoS protection, needs to be a priority. If that happens one time to a player, they could just say, I'm done with it, period. It's not worth it. Okay? If it happens one time, that's too many times. So continue with the quality of the playlist in terms of recoveries, cheaters, and DDoSers. Okay? I think that's like at the top of the list for me. Next, Sandbox. The Sandbox is not good this season. And we keep hearing we're listening. But we've been giving feedback on Sandbox issues for months now. For months. And they've doubled down on some of this stuff. And we're like, are you, I mean, you might be listening, but are you really hearing us? Do you really understand what we're saying here about the Sandbox? There's some Sandbox issues that need to be addressed that will immediately help the way that it plays out to be more fun. It's not fun to be killed by ability spam and tier 10 intellect behemoths and revenants. You know what I'm saying? It's not fun. It really, really isn't. So Sandbox issues, they need to start taking our feedback seriously and show us that they're improving upon the way the Sandbox plays based on player feedback. I think that there are times where it's like Bungie knows best, right? They see things and some data points and whatnot behind the scenes that we don't get access to. So there are times where Bungie knows best and they should ignore some feedback, but that shouldn't be the staple, right? That shouldn't be the staple. I think players are smarter than a lot of times than they're given credit for, and we know some things because we're living in that world. So we've got some good feedback. It needs to be listened to. It needs to be taken seriously and responded to. Even just say, hey, we hear you on this issue. Like that even goes a long way. It gives players hope and restores good faith. But right now we're kind of lacking in the good faith department, right? Win-based card matchmaking, right? A lot of people are against it, but here's the reality: it's not always working properly. And we've had times where we've all reset cards. We're on game one, and we've had it sometimes where we win game one, and it says in the feed in the lower left, like they were denied passage. They fell at the gates of Lighthouse, and you're like, hey, I'm sorry, what? Like, I'm sorry, what? Like, we're on game one, man. Stuff like that happens. And I'm told, I haven't verified this, but I'm told there's also an issue where win-based matchmaking is more like card-based matchmaking, where sometimes you've got a team that's won 3 and lost 2, and they're matching a team that's won 5, right? They've played 5 games on that card, and the other team's played 5 games on the card. But they're still playing against a team that's 5-0 when they're only at 3 wins on the card. You know what I'm saying? So that could be an issue too. But I think that win-based matchmaking is okay as long as it's connection-based and there are parameters, safety parameters built in to say, okay, but even still, it will be impossible for a team that has an average elo of 1,200 to match against a team that has an average elo of 2,200. You know what I mean? There has to be like outlier protection there. I never want, in Trials, I never want a team to come into a situation where it is literally impossible for them to win from the outright, and we've had teams like that even where I'm running stacked with my buds because we just want to get our loot, and we match a team, and I hate seeing this where a team will see who we are and immediately just leave, like to feel like it's that hopeless. Frankly, they never should have been matched with us and vice versa. That's a bad situation. So there needs to be outlier protection. Also, I think we need to make sure that there are no repeat teams in a card. Okay, it's bad enough sometimes where you have to, you play against a team and maybe it's a really sweaty match, or maybe even you get stomped. Maybe you get 5-0'd, and then you go into your very next game, and it's the exact same team. And I know this happens because this has happened multiple times to me in the last 2 weekends where I'm matching the exact same team back-to-back matches. And it's a feels bad moment because a lot of times we've had it. One of our flawless passages this weekend was a team that we won 5-4 against, and it was mega sweaty stasis ability spam, and we fought tooth and nail for that win. We only had one stasis guy on our team. We fought tooth and nail to get that win, and it was like as soon as the match was over, like, oh, praise God. We go into flawless game, and it's the exact same team. It's exhausting. Same thing. We won again, and it was a really tight match again, but it was exhausting. But no repeat teams. At the end of the day, I think that loot isn't the problem right now, and how obtainable loot isn't the problem either. The hand cannon is going to be back. I guarantee it. It'll be the 3-win or the 5-win or the 7-win, but it'll come back. They just chose to bring it in as the adept weapon drop this week. I think the more focal drop was actually the heavy, the sword, the new sword, which was a 5-win drop this weekend, which is much more obtainable. Obviously, 5 wins is a lot easier than going 7-0. But everyone's so focused on that adept loot, because it's such a good hand cannon. So it'll be back. It'll be more obtainable. I don't think that making it easier to get these drops is really a fix, because once the loot's grabbed, it's going to be a ghost town. Bottom dollar. How many of you guys continued to grind Gambit after you got a good bottom dollar? I'm willing to bet when you got a good bottom dollar, you were gone, right? I'm guessing you were just done. Like, oh, praise God, got my drop. I'm leaving. Trials is going to be the same. When everybody gets all their loot with a decent roll, they're gone. And it doesn't fix the playlist. The playlist is going to be a ghost town. It's going to be a sweat fest. The recoveries, the cheaters are going to be just running the place. So, these are my thoughts. What do you guys think? Thanks for listening to me talk about this. Let me know in the comment section how you're feeling about Trials right now, and what you think could be done to alleviate some of the issues that we're facing right now. Thanks so much for watching the video, y'all. I hope to catch you